Hi, I'm Sam, and it's time to wake up. I'm really just here to kind of help you out, sharing what I've learned, and I continue to learn every day, just in hopes to maybe help some people out. One of my biggest tools ever, no, the biggest tool that you could ever use to help you be a better you is a journal. I know it sounds crazy. It is the absolute cheapest and most productive therapy you could give to yourself, with no judgment, with no expectation other than being a better you, connecting with you daily. This is my current journal. I get into it. Some days I don't. Some days I don't get to write down all my thoughts. It does happen once in a while. And I know what you're saying. You're like, I can't do it every day. It's hard to meet myself in that level of expectation. But here's the thing. You got to let go of the guilt. Not worry about that. You do want to hold yourself accountable, and that really kind of happens naturally when you start journaling a little more frequently. But you can always do better tomorrow. Living in a guilt vibration is that negative voice in your head. Don't feed it. Stop feeding it. Don't feel guilty. You can always do better. Okay. So now, moving forward, you could journal with whatever works for you. If you feel like getting your thoughts out before you go to sleep helps you sleep better, that is a huge help. You could do whenever you feel called to it. And right before bed is a great time. You kind of lull over the day. And I do that sometimes. I'm primarily a morning journaler. I like to connect with myself before I connect with social media, before I connect with everybody around me. You got to connect with you. When you have your awareness of who you are and that voice in your head, it's a lot easier to filter out outside influences. I kind of do a combo journal. I, upon a recommendation, set it up like a scientific notebook, and I have things I'm studying on the left side, and I kind of take notes or something I want to learn, or a little layout. And on the right, I write my thoughts and where I'm at for the day and what I want to focus on. If you have a hard time getting started, a wonderful place to kind of start purging your feelings onto paper is, what are you grateful for? That sets you in a tone for the day. When you are grateful, you start focusing on good things and less complaining and less what you don't have and the have-nots, but to start with what you're grateful for. And as soon as you start focusing on that with your words, you definitely have other things that come out that you probably need to connect with. So date it. Don't limit yourself. It's a wonderful way to get started with your awareness, with looking back on what you've learned or how far you've come. You can look in when you start a new notebook, look at the first page of your previous one. And like I said, composition. You can do doodles, whatever you feel called to in that moment. But this is you connecting to you. This is what it's all about. Your journey. Really take this opportunity to learn from yourself and to grow and get grounded and maybe set goals. I have been journaling since I was young, and there's been decades where I don't journal much at all, or I've thrown one thought on a piece of paper and left it in a notebook in the back of a closet. It's really phenomenal in times of transition, times of growth, which is usually times of transition, times of crisis. I kept notebooks while I was 15 years old and experiencing my mother going through cancer and experiencing normal teenage phenomenon and rebellion. And I can look back and see where my head was. I can see patterns after keeping notebooks for a certain amount of time. One of the most profound notebooks, journal, that I've ever kept. I lost my mother when I was 20, and you kind of lose your mind along with losing the glue of the family, the matriarch, a dear friend, your best confidant. Lost my mind a little bit, and I didn't have a lot of accountability at the time, and I kept a notebook, and I had a page-a-day calendar that I got from the dollar store. And whether I entered a writing or not, I stapled a page from that calendar, or the pages I missed from that calendar, into the notebook. So I had a visible accountability reference on how much I was missing. And I wrote down goals, and I wrote down whether I would had achieved the previous goals or not, and holding myself accountable. And the progress that I saw through this notebook, through one of the most difficult times in my life, was incredible. You notice patterns, you notice thought patterns, and changing the voice in your head. And changing the voice in your head is such a huge step towards being a more enlightened human. When you figure out which voice is yours, because you are connecting with it on a consistent basis, you hear yourself a lot better, who you really are, who you want to be. To get trauma voices, outside influences, abusive voices out of your head, so you can talk to yourself like you would talk to a friend, instead of somebody who talks down to you. There's so many benefits to journaling, and if there's one step, it's not just yoga or qigong or meditation or wearing rocks or gardening. These are all wonderfully powerful things, and meditation is freaking goes hand in hand with journaling. Journaling is absolutely a form of meditation. It's a phenomenal place to get started, to connect with you, to know your words. And the only one you have to compare yourself to is you. I hope this helped. Namaste. I wish you good luck on your journey. Bye for now.